Aloha, this is John Kohler with OKRod.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and this episode is about one of my favorite foods in the whole wide world. Like they always ask you, if you were on a desert island, what one food would you bring with you? Well, it's a no-brainer for me. The one food I would bring with me is the almighty coconut. Number one, it's probably growing on a desert island, right? Island, because coconuts grow on islands. Number two, there are so many uses for the coconut, right? If you're thirsty, you could get the coconut down and drink the coconut water, which is rich in electrolytes. If the coconut's really young, there'll be no meat. If the coconut's young, you'll get little jelly meat. It's almost like jelly and really nice and flavorful and low in fat and super delicious. Number three, if you let the coconut mature a little bit more, the meat gets a little bit thicker. You could then eat that stuff up. You could grate it up. You can make coconut milk out of it by basically mixing the coconut water with the meat and then getting the extraction. And that's definitely another excellent food. You can also like sun dry the coconut into coconut shreds and flavor those up with different herbs, all kinds of different stuff. I mean, so those are just some of the use of the coconut. Another thing you could do is you could like make the coconut toddy or the coconut sugar by taking the sap that would normally go to the coconuts and taking that yourself. Another way you could use a coconut is take the coconut meat and extract the oil from it. So now you got 100% coconut oil, which is extremely high in fat. It's 100% fat actually. That has a medium chain fatty acids that are good for prevention of bacterial and viral things. So another food made by the coconut is the coconut heart of palm. So you can actually eat the heart of the palm, like the little baby palm as it starts to form. It's nice and tender and super delicious. Now I'm not talking about any of those coconut products today. They're amazing. One treat, so many different kinds of food it creates. We're going to talk about my favorite food of them all, and what that is the coconut sprout. Some people may call it the coconut apple. In Hawaii, the royalty used to call it queen's candy. Some people might call it like coconut cotton candy. And how that's made is you take the coconut, and what happens is the brown coconut in the husk falls off the tree. And don't stand under the coconut tree when it's dropping its nuts. I wouldn't want no nuts to be dropped on me. Actually, these could really hurt. They get quite heavy and they're falling from quite far up on the tree. They fall to the ground when they're ripe and ready. And then what happens is, in the right conditions, meaning the right moisture and temperature and humidity, these guys will actually sprout. And what happens is, this is the seed of the coconut palm. And what happens is out of here, they'll actually form a little coconut sprout. And it'll be a little miniature palm growing out of the nut. And then you'll see slowly the roots will start to come out the bottom and it'll set place on the beach or wherever it is, and then grow into another big coconut palm. And what I like to do is actually I like to eat the sprout. So not only when you have a coconut sprout and you have the little palm coming out the end here, you can actually harvest the little palm tree that's coming out that's super small. You get to get the heart of palm by eating the middle of it right near the edge where it's going into the nut. And that's one way that a delicacy that I like a lot, because normally heart of palm is the mature palm when it's a lot larger. But the other thing you could do is actually you could open up on the inside and get the coconut apple or queen's candy. And that's what I'm going to do for you today. So what I've done already is I've painstakingly taken a coconut that had the sprout coming out, and I've actually dehusked it. And you can dehusk these guys with your bare hands. So if you're walking on a beach somewhere and you find a coconut sprout, you don't need a machete, people. I've done all this stuff barehanded. So in nature, we could actually eat these foods. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to find the coconut. Then what you're going to have to do is find a piece of concrete or a large rock that's like flat. Then you're going to take the coconut and wham it down and make sure it hits the little nose end. So this is the stem end. You want to hit the nose end straight down, like boom, on the concrete. And you're going to have to do this like about 20 times. And what's going to happen is this will compress in, this will force the husk to crack, and then you're going to rip the piece of the husk off, and you're going to be left with this, the coconut. So this is the coconut. You're like, John, that's the same coconut I could buy in the store. Is that a coconut sprout? No. This is a coconut with the water, and how will you know? You could shake it. If you shake it and hear the water slosh around inside, that's a coconut. It's an unsprouted coconut. In general, most people say that you need to have the coconut in the full husk in the right, weather conditions, meaning heat, water, and humidity to sprout optimally. But there's a fellow on YouTube that actually sprouted one of these guys. So there is still hope for you if you're not in a tropical location to find a coconut sprouting up underneath a coconut tree, because that's usually where they happen. You can actually get one of these guys as long as it's super fresh. It's sad that in many stores the brown coconuts that are being sold are actually on their way out and going bad and will not ever sprout on you. And how you're going to know that? You're going to want to shake it, and you want it as full as water as possible. Many times these guys could even be going moldy and bad on the inside without you knowing it, because most stores do not turn them enough, which means they don't sell enough quantity, so which means they just sit there and visibly they don't really look that bad, even though they could be really bad on the inside. So go to a store that sells a lot of coconuts to be sure you get them fresh. So what I really want to show you guys today is this coconut that I've already dehusked, and it's all ready to be opened up for you guys. And this is the coconut here. Here's the standard one that you might buy at the store, and this one just has the standard eyes. But if you notice on this one, it actually has the 3 eyes, and as you guys can see that there's 2 eyes with the eyebrows. There's the eyebrows right here, and through the mouth, the other one, there's something sticking out. And actually this is where the coconut palm was coming out of that I cut off to show you guys. It would be nice and convenient. And that's basically what happens. Is that's the base of where the coconut gets its nutrients. Think about it. The coconut is put on the planet not for us, but for the coconut palm to reproduce. And this is the whole seed. The coconut is an ingenious plant because it actually has the seed inside the whole nut. It has the water, the coconut water that's rich in electrolytes, that's there to feed the coconut palm that's going to be growing out of the nut. And then the meat inside the coconut is the fuel source. So it's got water and it's got fuel to fuel its growth before it sends down the roots in the ground and can start absorbing nutrients from the earth. And that's why it's in there. So what happens is this sent out a little palm right here. I cut it off. We have it like this. And how we open this very simply is we're just going to take a standard knife and we're just simply going to tap it. Let me go ahead and open this up for you guys. Check it out. That's what it looks like on the inside. Yes, you're seeing that right. It's not a hollow cavity anymore. What happens is all the water turns into this like spongy type angel food cake-like consistency. Fills a whole entire cavity. Now this does not all happen at once. At a certain point, the little ball starts to form, and it starts to form closest to the little sprout that's coming out, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and envelops the whole cavity inside the coconut. And what this is for, this is actually the nutrition that is being converted from the coconut meat or the coconut fat or the fuel for the coconut sprout that is now being grown. And let me go ahead and pull this guy out because I want to show you guys this in one whole piece if I could get it out whole. Alright, so here we go. Check it out. This is what I want to show you guys. As you guys can see, what happens is, here's the standard coconut, what it looks like, right? It's hollow on the inside. And here's the coconut apple we pulled out, or the Queen's candy. On the inside, you can see it's actually white. And on the outside, it's a little bit yellow, and it kind of has that, like, it looks kind of like that, like, hard-boiled egg, in the middle and stuff. And what this does, this is kind of the layer between the inside, that's actually going to feed the coconut that's germinating out and the meat. And what this yellow part does, it basically converts the storage fuel or the coconut meat, the fat, into nutrition for the inside. And if you notice on the outside of this, it's very slippery. You guys can't see that probably in the camera, but I can. So what's happening here is this outside yellow part is converting the fat, like in making an oil out of it. So what we could do here, unlike regular coconut, we can literally take the coconut now and just take my finger nail and just go like this to the coconut, right? And this is truly raw coconut oil right here on my fingernail. Look at that. I'm gonna put it on my body and rub it in. Look at that. Man, that's some nice coconut oil. Mmm, the taste of the tropics right there. So that's how the coconut works. But the more cool thing is to have this guy and then to be able to taste it. So you could take it and just bite into this stuff. This is just a half because I got the other half still in there. Mmm. Wow. This is a flavor you do not get in raw foods anywhere. To get this texture, this consistency, you pretty much have to bake an angel food cake. It's nice and spongy, a little bit sweet, a little bit fatty, and oh so delicious. So that is my favorite food from the coconut sprout. Hopefully you'll be in the tropics one day to try it. I could just eat these like one a day if I lived in the tropics. They are so delicious. The other thing is that the culinary uses of this are incredible. This stuff acts like a sponge, so you can actually soak this stuff in like a cactus juice or whatnot. Make a nice, like a dessert out of it. Man, that'd be so delicious. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode learning about my favorite coconut food, the coconut apple, aka coconut sprout or sprouted coconut or coconut cotton candy or queen's candy, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely delicious and you gotta try it one of these days when you're in the tropics, or maybe even try in that video down below and sprout mature coconut on your own. Now, be prepared. When you see a coconut sprout on the beach, you want it a little bit established. If it's too young and you harvest it, then the coconut sprout on the inside is not going to be fully mature. You're not going to get enough. So you're going to have the sprout probably at least grow about this tall and maybe even be setting it out a second or third set of leaves before you harvest it. Otherwise, the little ball on the inside is going to be small. So that's why I just like visiting the tropics, finding coconuts on the beach and harvesting them right up. And also, that's some more free food for me, free 99. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode learning more about the coconut sprout. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. And remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best. All right, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. We're here at the 2014 Woodstock Fruit Festival, having a great time. There's so many different presenters and different activities and things to do. I know many people that came may not have been able to get to